This is a sound check. Yes. Thank you, Joy. Joy's given me the thumbs up that we are ready to go this morning. And I'd like to start first of all by excusing Chairman Reed. And he will be back with us as soon as possible, and no one is more hopeful for that than I. I would invite your patience with me for for chairing this meeting for the first time. So we'd also like to welcome Commissioner Hedrick and Commissioner Quinn are online today. And of course, Commissioner Paulus and Commissioner Amador here, and all of you that are here to present. So let's see, I don't need to approve the agenda, that has been done already. So we'd like to move to item number 1 on the agenda, which is the minutes review and approval.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Quinn.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Thank you. I have a motion. Is there a second?
A second.
Second by Commissioner Paulus. Thank you. So we'll move to item number 2 on the agenda, which is the director's report.
You should take a vote.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. And so we will turn this time to Director Burke, and she'll give us the director's report.
I'm going to remain seated today because we have a unique technological situation here. All right. So we have been busy in the offices of the commission the past couple months. Our annual performance reports are completed and online. And I did want to make a note of a change that you'll see from previous years. So our data reflects what is on the Idaho State Report Card. And this year they shifted from the continuously enrolled student data to all student enrolled data. And that has had an impact on some of our data results. So for example, ISAT results for statewide testing, they were, so both ELA and math, we're seeing drops in testing at the statewide level due to this all enrolled student data versus the continuously enrolled student data. For example, ELA scores for continuously enrolled students were at 53.9% statewide, while ELA for all students was at 53.2%. So there's a slight dip there. Math scores were 43.2% with the continuously enrolled data, and they dropped to 42.3% with the all student data, respectively. So this change affected most of the schools in our portfolio on their annual reports. They generally displayed lower scores on the metric currently reflected on the state report card. So I just wanted to make that known.
Thank you.
Our FY25 IPCSC portfolio report is on our website and available. It gives an overview of the schools in our portfolio and their data and a couple of trend analysis on there as well. And we have recently updated our application guidance, and that is available on our website as well. So this is just an idea of some of the big items we've been looking at. The increased charter support program of participating charter schools are Blackfoot, Mountain Community, Peace Valley, Cheektowackee, Hayden Canyon, Monticello Montessori, and North Valley Academy. Their update is they have been informally reviewing progress toward program priorities. Most program funds have been allocated and are pending invoicing. Capacity building efforts continue through coaching and technical assistance. Some ongoing work they're focusing on is they're keeping a careful eye on results in literacy testing with the newly launched AMERA program. They're navigating enrollment and attendance fluctuations, implementing new instruction materials and strategies with fidelity and accountability, and they're working on ongoing professional development in literacy and math. That was the update from the Department of Education. A quick overview of our budget. We are in a favorable spending pace. We are 18.3% below the straight line. We have 38.1% of our fiscal year remaining, and we currently have 56.3% of the fiscal budget remaining. So things are going in a positive way there. A big item in everyone's mind is the cutbacks, and so I wanted to give you guys an overview of how that would affect the commission. So our original FY26 totaled $742,400. During this fiscal year, the following statewide adjustments were applied. We had an operations reversion, which was $4,200. And then the governor's holdbacks, which were $600 and then $5,400 from the general fund. And then we have an additional 1% reduction coming, probably, and that would be another $2,000 from the general fund. The 1% reduction is being absorbed through our travel-related expenditure controls, avoiding impacts to personnel and core operations. So our revised FY26 allocation would be the $730,200. With that, I would ask for any questions.
Commissioners, any questions?
Just appreciate the update. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Rachel. And also, I forgot to acknowledge staff that is here and that has also worked really hard on this. And also their Valentine's dress attire today, they tell me that there was no memo sent, but it's all very appropriate. So thank you for all you do. So let's see, if there are no questions, we will move to item number 3 on our agenda, which is the consideration to renew the charters without conditions. And we will start with Alturas Preparatory Academy. And if you'd like to join us, and remember to introduce yourselves and for the record.
Do a dance.
Okay, in 2021, Alturas Preparatory Academy was approved for operations with a 5-year operating contract. The school began operations in fall of 2021. The current certificate term is from July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2026. Alturas Preparatory Academy has met or exceeded expectations in all categories, with the exception of approaches standard in the 2024 for math growth and in 2023 for enrollment variance. In FY25, Alturas Preparatory either received or a met or exceeded rating in all academic, financial, and operational measures, with the exception of receiving an approaches standard in the debt asset ratio. There's some data for you on their enrollment trends throughout this performance term. The school is recommended for renewal without conditions, and there is a snapshot of their metrics throughout their performance certificate period as well for you to review.
Thank you. And we will turn the time to you.
Okay, I'm Michelle Ball. I'm the Executive Director of Alturas Prep and Alturas International. This is Reese DeCula. He's the principal of Alturas Prep and has been on this journey for 9 years. First of all, I'd really like to thank the wealth of support that we've received on this journey. It is above and beyond what I had ever encountered. And when I was pretty green going into this, I had no idea what I was doing. And I've learned a lot over the years. And I really appreciate that you took a risk for Alturas International and Alturas Prep, because it has been the most amazing and challenging journey of my life. And it has been just beyond incredible. And the wealth of people that came on this journey to join has been, it's made the world of difference. It's an incredible village. So I'd like to start with that, to say thank you to everybody, because I'm sitting here today overwhelmed, because I'm going back 10 years ago when I came to present to the Charter Commission to start AIA as a classroom teacher wanting to make a change for education, to incorporate best practices into a school, and they obviously work. So if we do best practices and what's best for kids, it happens. So with that, oh, yes, that's great. Thank you. So one of our core values are support, collaboration, and community, and we live those core values, and I think that's why we're here today. So Alturas promotes academic distinction while empowering students to be principal and intellectual leaders as they explore, create, and investigate and analyze in a safe, engaged, collaborative environment. Our environment is so collaborative, and you know how much students need that today. They are not getting a wealth of socialization with their peers. So our unique model provides that they're collaborating, they're communicating, that they're working together. Oh, we lost it. Oh, it might be the video. I can just talk. Yeah. So we have a very unique model. So as I described this, we are multi-age classrooms because we want to meet students where we are. We all know that students don't develop at the same pace in the same rate. So we do not want to categorize students by grade levels. We want to categorize that. We want to meet them at their instructional level. We also know that whole group instruction, all of us, human beings, tune out. We sit there and listen to it. After 20 minutes, we're gone. Pretty much, we're not going to get a lot. So in our model, it's small group instruction. So when that teacher is working with a small group of 8 to 10 students, they're all involved. Everybody contributes. Everybody is in the lesson, and they know they have to contribute, and they know they have to be involved in that lesson. And they're also what they put into the lesson can change directions of how that teacher's teaching too, because we want their inquiry, we want their feedback, we want to hear their voice. So as that teacher teaches in small group, the rest of the class, they have their small groups. There's probably about 3 to 4 groups in a class. They are student driven. They are responsible for their education, and they know what they have to do. Oh, that's so empowering. You can imagine these kids thinking, yeah, I'm going to come in. Nobody's in charge of me. I'm going to go through my routine. I know what I got to get done. And they know that. And the schedule is the same every day. And they come in and they know. And it really does empower them. We all like to be in charge. We all like to say, hey, yeah, I get to be in charge of myself. They all have partners that they work with. So their partners can support them. And that was the hardest thing when I started Alturas, because I lived in this all cocoon in my classroom. Kids work together, they communicate, hey, I forgot how to do this. Can you help me? I missed this step. The words, did you not listen, are not part of our vocabulary at Alturas. It is, yes, I can help you. Yes, we can step back. Yes, we can do this. They'll collaborate on the same answer, which is really an incredible thing when they can do that. They can sit there and talk. They can enhance their answers. They can enhance their work. Nothing is like people working together. But the best thing about it, you can imagine at Alturas Prep, kids get into their cliques. Can't happen at our school. They go from classroom to classroom to classroom. They work in small groups. They meet all different kinds of kids because in every different classroom, we're with different peers and they're all working together, communicating. And so the best way for me to describe this is when we have a dance at Alturas, they're all out on that floor together. They're all dancing together. Our DJs are like, what? I've never seen this at a school. We have kids lined up against the wall. If somebody's not, then we'll grab them. Hey, they do things together. They work together. And I think that's why we've had the success. We've provided them an environment. They can be wrong. They can say, hey, I think it might be this. Hey, that's great. That might lead us to the right place. Kids don't have to have the right answer at Alturas. They can collaborate and communicate so they can get to the right answer. They're part of that lesson. They're part of what they do, and they're part of that community. And so we're all natural inquirers. We want to learn, but we don't want our learning dictated by somebody saying, here's your lecture, open up your workbook page and do it. We want to work with somebody. We want to be part of that. So we've created an environment around best practices. It's a school-wide system, behavior school-wide. Every teacher follows the same behavior plan. You can imagine the consistency that provides when kids go from classroom to classroom and a new teacher doesn't have new rules. All the rules are the same. They don't have to walk in, teachers in a junior high and high school don't have to reestablish that. No, these are our rules. This is what we do. This is how we are. And so people come in and they're very surprised by the calmness in the school. There's just a sense of rhythm and ebb and flow. The best thing about Alturas is the kids are so engaged. And then I wish all of you could see it. You walk into classrooms, they're working together, they're engaged in their work. They really love to learn. And our teachers have a passion for teaching that, because that passion that teachers give those kids get that passion too. One thing I wanted to add too is the connection that they have with each other and then with the teachers is really high. So those 21st century skills, we don't know where these kids are going to go. I mean, life has changed so much for me, even in the past 10 years. What are these futures that these kids are going to go into? But if they can communicate.
Just 1 second, it looks like Joy has.
Oh, we got the slide back up, then we can move forward to Reese's.
What makes Alturas really special and unique
there we
is
go.
that the students are able to be themselves. When new students move into our school, sometimes they're a little bit nervous and hesitant because it's a new environment. But within weeks or months, I see these students really thrive because they're getting that one-on-one help. Nobody has to worry about what other people are thinking about them because we have that unique community feel in this school. The International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, or IBDP, helps the students to prepare for their future by giving them the opportunity to really push themselves and learn at a higher level. So they're not necessarily just doing what is expected, but they're trying to go above and beyond. I think Alturas is a really great place to send your kids because we are constantly learning how to do better. I love our administration. They're amazing at always looking for ways to change or to tweak things so that the kids can learn better, and also the teachers can be more successful and effective in our classrooms.
So thank you. Thanks, Joy.
So, the next slide, is it possible to get this? Okay, that's awesome. So, the next slide is, how does International Baccalaureate and our program combine? So, I do want to clarify that Alturas is about small group instruction at an instructional level. It's about meeting kids where they're at. And when we meet them where they're at, we can just grow them. We're not going to pull them out and do interventions. We're meeting them where they're at, and they just go like this. Because every day we've met them where they're at. And so with International Baccalaureate, it just meshed with us. It was just that high rigor, that student driven, that student empowerment. So we chose International Baccalaureate because it was a mesh. The International Baccalaureate didn't come in and then we decided to, no, we knew who we were. And then we incorporated International Baccalaureate into our school. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. We've talked about that one. So it's the diploma program that we've offered. Last year was the first year. Oh my, was it so great. All of our kids passed. There's a fee. And they went to schools like Harvard, MIT, Brown, Lewis and Clark. They all went to first and second tier schools. It was a pretty incredible thing. Right now we have a student that just got into NYU. They're very, very excited, and they're convinced because of that International Baccalaureate diploma. They're taking those courses that give them a step up to get into these schools. So all that, I'll turn the time over to Reese.
Thanks, Michelle. Yes, thank you, Commission, for having us. I'm Reese Cool. I'm the principal at Alturas Preparatory Academy. Thank you for letting us be here today and present to you, and for the incredible work that you guys do. I know there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and we appreciate all that you do. So yeah, just like Michelle was talking about, I'll go back and talk about our MYP program in just a second, but since we're on this, just exactly what Michelle has said, the diploma program, you look at these top tier universities across the world, they know that students completing this program, if they've gone through this rigorous program that the DP offers, they know that they're going to be successful when they walk onto their campuses and universities. It's highly, and Michelle listed a few of the places that our students just within the last year got accepted to. And they have a leg up when they get into these universities from this program. They just know they're going to succeed with once they complete this program. They also have the opportunity through this program to complete and get up to 30 college credits in addition. But by completing this program, that's what they're looking for, is like, you're going to be able to succeed coming onto our campus. Quite incredible, the things that our students are able to achieve, and they have to be really prepared. This is something that we have to plan out with them very early on in their high school education, because they have to be working to complete the full program. They have to be working 1.5 to 2 years ahead to meet the rigor that's needed to complete these courses. So it's quite incredible what the students are able to complete through the diploma program. I'll go back to. Yeah. So one thing that I love about Alturas, and that I've loved about Alturas since joining along with Michelle 9 years ago, is the fact that we are a part of the IB program. It fits us so well. We're so lucky in Southeast Idaho to be, right now, we're currently the only school that offers the full spectrum IB program, from our elementary campus at AIA is the PYP program, all the way up to our high school, which is our diploma program. We also are able to offer at Alturas Prep the middle years program, which is really exciting. A lot of things that Michelle talked about, it fits in just like a glove to our program, but it teaches kids that learning just isn't done in silos. It's interdisciplinary. Everything connects together. The learning that we're doing can help better the world that we live in. Everything that we're doing is, kind of has that shared purpose. And we try to accomplish this through a couple ways in our middle years program. One of the great things that I love about our schools are project nights that we do. They happen 3 times a year. And over the course of several weeks, the students are analyzing, research, writing, getting into these interdisciplinary subjects and learning how they interconnect. And then they have to come together 3 times a year and showcase the learning that they've researched and done over that course of time. And they have to present it to their parents, to community members. It's really, I wish you guys could see, or if you have the opportunity, come to one of our project nights. It's really a great opportunity to just see firsthand the learning that the students get to achieve in the MYP. And it goes all the way up to 10th grade in IB. And it's capped with what's called a personal project. And really the way I try to explain that is, think of it as like a senior project before your senior project. It's a capstone of their time in their middle years program. And they have that opportunity to get into something they're really passionate about and use those 21st century skills that Michelle was talking about and really dive into something they're passionate about. And it's a great way for them to cap off before they go into potentially the diploma program, or even if they're not, if they don't know what they want to do as far as getting into one of those top tier universities. We also have a great relationship with the College of Eastern Idaho. We're just within walking distance of their campus. And so we have the majority of our high school students that take some sort of dual enrollment. A lot of students graduating with associate's degrees, and we're super thankful, lucky. We work really well with the College of Eastern Idaho. They're on our campus all the time, giving presentations to our students, giving them opportunities to be able to really start college and high school, which is really great. We're so thankful to be able to have those opportunities for our students. So keep going. Oh.
Yeah, so the foundation of Alturas is community support and collaboration, teaching those 21st century skills, and also giving those students a very safe, engaging environment to work in. Those students being safe is huge. We just don't have the bullying issues that other schools have, because we cut it right then. We deal with everything we deal with it at a low level. Very seldom does it get out of control. Those kids know our expectations. We teach the IB profiles that are, you're caring, you're principled, you're balanced, you're communicative. We teach all those are integrated into every lesson we do in small group instruction. Those are the foundation of our school, to teach those kids to have those skill sets. As you can imagine, it takes a teacher with a growth mindset to do this. And we have found some amazing teachers. I think APA has I taught for 37 years. I think APA has one of the strongest staffs and more committed staffs I've ever seen. It is delightful to watch how they work together, how they support one another, how they're there for one another. And their growth mindsets have made a huge change in what we do, and also their support for each other. So we want to share our data with you. And just so you know, we are constantly working on our data. We are very data driven. We analyze it, we dissect it. We say, where are we weak? Where do we need to backfill? Where do we need to scaffold down, scaffold up? We are data driven.
Yeah, and I'd just like to add just with this, not only that, but it really drives that instruction that Michelle's talked about, our small group instruction, our instructional levels. The teachers are getting into this data and using it to drive that small group instruction. That's really what forms that small group instruction at our school, is looking at not only the ISATs, but STAR and WA. We really take it time and we're intentional about using that. And that's really the purpose of it at Alturas. And so we look at it quite often. Anything else you might?
Yeah, just that we're about 10 points above the districts, our surrounding districts. Yeah, so we really want students to be prepared for our ever-changing world, and it is changing so quickly. I mean, I look back at my beginning teaching career and where it's at today, and I'm like, oh my word, when we tell stories about not having the internet, even having to book travel was quite something. But these kids don't know where they're gonna go. They don't know. So those communication skills, those teaching them how to collaborate and work together. So what's so fun and surreal about this is I didn't start a charter school to have one child. I wanted to be a change for education. I wanted education to tap into best practices. And that's why Alturas works. We do best practices. We study them, we do them, we know what they are. And so no revolution is without a lot of struggles, and we have had our struggles. But the thing about it is we teach our students that we have a struggle, we work through it, we address it, we move forward. We want our students to do that. Life is about struggle. And growth is about struggle. You're not going to have growth if you do not struggle. So we believe in struggle. So it's so exciting to think that we are going to make a change. Right now, we're working with Lava, we're working with Hollister, we're opening a new campus in Rigby, Idaho. This is unbelievable to me where this has gone, but I'm going to tell you why it's gone. We've tapped in to the way students need to learn. That's what we just tapped into. We've empowered them to be responsible for their education, to say, this is your journey, and learning just enhances you as an individual. It just changes your life. And so the empowerment of students and not being in control of them is really why this journey has ended up with us. So we are thrilled to be here. We thank you for your support. It's just been incredible to have people like Reese and the whole group of people that have joined this journey. I'm very blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, questions, discussion? Commissioner Quinn and Commissioner Hedrick, were you able to hear everything okay?
Yeah, I had a question. Maybe she said what the population is, but what is the population of the school?
It's about 450 students.
Have you seen significant growth lately, or is it more stable?
It's pretty stable, but as our kids go through the program, because we have the K-5 program, and then they come up into our school, so it is growing, because kids that join us, 80%, 90% stay with us. So where we have some losses going from 8th to 9th grade, because they want that high school, but it's getting less and less, a lot less. So yes, it's very stable, but it's also growing. I think we'll be in the next 3 or 4 years to 550 kids in the program.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Hedrick. Commissioner Quinn.
Yes. First of all, thank you very much. And we've always admired your work. And now I know definitely where all the passion comes from for those students. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? We really do appreciate your presentation and your passion, for sure.
Chairman Baird. I
Yes.
just have a comment that I'm a little concerned because she's sending all of our best and brightest out of the state. It's not like some sort of contract where they have to get back.
Thank you. That's a good point. These, pretty amazing to have students who are prepared for a journey outside of Idaho and then maybe back to Idaho. Yeah. So I would be prepared to enter a motion or to entertain a motion if the commissioners are ready.
So I would make a motion to approve the charter renewal without conditions as presented for Alturas Preparatory Academy, thereby approving the school's renewal application and renewing its charter for 6-year operational term starting July 1st, 2026.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will entertain a vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. It's been an incredible journey. Thank you.
For the work and your passion.
Yeah.
And we'll have Director Burke introduce the next school for us.
Next up, we have Gym Prep Meridian North. In 2021, Gym Prep Meridian North was approved for operations with a 5-year operating contract. The school began operations in fall of 2021. The current certificate from July 1, 2021 to June 30, 2026. Gym Prep Meridian North has met or exceeded expectations across academic, financial, and operational measures throughout its operating term, with the exception of the financial category in FY 22 and 23, and in FY 25, 3 academic measures were rated as approaching standard, which was the first occurrence during the current term. You can see their enrollment trends listed on the cover page. The school is recommended for renewal without conditions, and you can see their data and metrics throughout the performance term on the second page as well.
I'd like to invite you to come share your story with us. Just remind you to introduce yourselves and your position for the record.
I'll start and then, okay, with you, Madam Chair, have each member introduce themselves. So I'm Jason Bransford. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Gem Prep Schools. So I have the opportunity to work with each of our Gem Prep schools. We have 7 schools across the state today, and today we'll be talking about Gem Prep Meridian North.
I'm Mitchell Hill. I'm the principal at Gem Prep Meridian.
I'm Joanne Collins. I'm the assistant principal at Gem Prep Meridian North. This is my first year as assistant principal, but I taught for Gem Prep Meridian for 3 years. I'm a proud military spouse who got to come back to Idaho once my husband retired, and we've engrossed ourselves in everything military for the state, and I'm just happy to be able to connect that to working with Gem Prep and working with our scholars.
I'm Brian Fletcher. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for Gem Prep.
I'm Lori Wolf. I'm the Chief Academic Officer for Gem Prep. Thank you and welcome.
Madam Chair, do you have access to the slide deck? Thank you for letting us take a few moments and highlight some of the things that we're really proud of that are happening in Gem Prep Meridian North. Before I do that, I recognize that I think all of the commissioners have heard me talk about Gem Prep many times. I think I'm here just about every time you meet talking about either a new school or an existing school. So I recognize that. So if you've heard this before, well, I promise to wake you up after my part's over. But I want to reground us in what we focus on at Gem Prep across all of our schools. And then we'll highlight a few things, particularly with Gem Prep Meridian North, that we're really proud of. Our highest purpose is to help students in the future live a prosperous, joyful life. So when I talk about prosperity, I'm talking about taking care of themselves and their families. We need to raise young people in society who are capable of going on in their lives and taking care of themselves and their families first. When I talk about joyful, though, I'm talking about pivoting and serving their community and helping others outside of themselves and outside of their family, because that's where joy comes, not from looking inward, but from looking outward. So we're trying to train up young people who are capable of doing both, thus living a prosperous, joyful life. Now, if we backwards map from where we want to land many years from now with these young people, and we say, what can we be doing now to set them up for the highest likelihood of living a prosperous, joyful life? One of the things is if we look at the data, we find that in Idaho, this is an Idaho statistic, the average person who gets a bachelor's degree or above in Idaho earns about $1.2 million over their careers as compared to someone who only has a high school diploma. Now, if you think about that and you think about a husband and wife combo who both have a bachelor's degree as compared to neither having anything beyond the high school diploma, you've now got an almost $2.5 million earning differential over their lifetime. You think about the difference in life that their children will live. You think about the opportunities that they'll have to give back to others in those scenarios. And we want to set them up for that. But we also recognize that the cost of college is a real concern for many people. And getting that bachelor's degree has become a real barrier to entry for a lot of people, at least in their own minds. But Idaho has some excellent programs to combat those concerns, including our Advanced Opportunities programs. So our goal is to get students an associate's degree by the time they leave high school at no cost to them or their family. So they're at least halfway when they look up and say, hey, in only 2 more years, I can have a bachelor's degree. And we try to give them guidance to get the types of bachelor's degrees that really will set them up to be prosperous and joyful in the future. So we just figured that if an 18 or 19-year-old student walks out of high school and says 4 more years to even get a bachelor's degree, that's a much more psychologically challenging proposition than to say, I'm already halfway there. I know that I can handle the rigors of college. I've already taken on 60 or 65 or 70 college credits by the time I left high school, and I've done it at no cost. And we set them up on average to leave with enough scholarship dollars to get them the rest of the way through the cost of their 3rd and 4th years of school. That's what Gen Prep is set up to do. And that's what we feel like we do just about as well as anybody in the state. So now if we hone in on Gen Prep Meridian North, they are about to have their first graduating class in just a couple of months. We're really proud that this first class that we have, 29% of our first graduating class will have associate's degrees by the time they leave high school. Now that's impressive. I will tell you that our other Gen Prep schools have higher numbers than that, but they've been graduating students for several years. So if I look ahead a couple of years at Gen Prep Meridian North and I say, where are their 10th graders right now? Because we tend to see, starting in about the 10th grade, we'll start having them take their first college classes. What are they on track to do? If I look ahead 2 years, 75% of our 10th graders at Gen Prep Meridian North are on track to leave high school with their associate's degree, again, at no cost to them or their families. We also have 4 students, so this is an unusual situation because we've had 1 or 2 who've done this in the past. But Gen Prep Meridian North has a high concentration of 4 students who will leave high school and be within 1 or 2 months of finishing their bachelor's degree by the time they leave high school. That's incredible, given that we've only had a couple who've done this up to date with all of our schools. So Gen Prep Meridian North has some really remarkable young people. They have an average of a 3.18 GPA. Now that in and of itself is pretty impressive for the secondary students. This is 6th through 12th grade. In and of itself, it's pretty impressive. But when you consider the fact that most of our high schoolers are taking college level coursework, most of our 6th through 8th graders are taking a few high school level coursework that sets them up so that they can take college level courses while they're in high school. When you consider the fact that 93% of our secondary students take above grade level coursework and they still have a 3.18 GPA, this says that these students are really developing a strong set of competencies. So in addition to getting good grades on their classes, in addition to being able to pass a test, that's content knowledge and skills. But competencies are things like the ability to set and accomplish goals, the ability to turn in your assignments on time, and that translates well into the adult workforce, the ability to meet your project deadlines, the ability to work well with others, to communicate effectively with their teachers. This GPA, and eventually these college courses that they take, are a more holistic look at, are these young people developing not only the content knowledge, but also the skills necessary to eventually lead a prosperous, joyful life. And we feel like we're on the right trajectory. We know we've got some areas where we want to improve at Gem Prep Meridian North and at each of my campuses, and we own those. And we also recognize that we're at a pretty good place to just be having our first graduating class walk across the stage and already be here. If we look down at the elementary level, because our schools are K through 12, eventually, again, we're having our first graduating class this May. But if we look at the elementary level, more than 1/4 of our students are walking up. We call this single subject acceleration. This is if you get a second grader who's doing 3rd grade math, they actually walk over to the 3rd grade classroom. So we call this a single subject acceleration. They're walking over to the next grade, or walking up, sometimes we call that. So all these things matter. We're really proud of the aggregate highlights that I just shared. We're really proud of what's happening in our schools, but they matter because they represent what's happening in the lives of individual students at Gem Prep Meridian North. So I've asked my colleagues to share 2 stories of individual students and what's happening with them.
So this is Alex. Alex is one of our high achieving scholars that I feel that could achieve a bachelor's degree. However, he does volunteer for the Civil Air Patrol on his spare time. And so that's where a lot of his time is focused. He is on track to earn his associate's degree. He started high school credits early, started his college credits early, and he has made principal's honor roll every year since I've been there, every semester since I've been there. Fantastic student, definitely a scholar I trust. And just to throw another thing out there that's not on the slide there, he helped participate and make our broadcasting for our school as well. So he's definitely a scholar we trust and someone that is one we're proud of to have it.
This is Aria, and I'm super excited to talk about her today because although she's in 7th grade now, she was one of my 5th grade scholars that I taught in math and science. So it's super exciting to see teaching her in 5th grade, where we identified she was extremely strong in ELA and math and began that single subject acceleration for her in both those subjects. And to now see her in 7th grade and looking toward fall in 8th grade, where she will start working on her high school, taking those bachelor's degree courses. And she's one of the ones that we were talking about, those 4 at our school that are on track to earn their bachelor's degree before they graduate high school with us. And so I'm very proud of her, and it is exciting to see her in our school, in our commons, working on her goals that we talked about when we were together in class in 5th grade. So it makes me very proud to be able to present her to you guys today.
Commissioners, you've been very kind to let us talk about some of the things that we're really proud of, some of the things that we're working on as a school and as a network. So, Madam Chair, with your permission, we'd like to stand for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Appreciate your passion and presentation always, Jason. You're always bring such good things to the commission and to the state. So thanks to all of you. Commissioners, any questions or comments for Gem Prep Meridian North?
If I may, Madam
Yes,
Chair.
Commissioner Quinn, please.
Jason, I agree. It's always enjoyable and a learning experience. And you set a bar that I hope many aspire to. And it's I really appreciate all the effort and work your team is doing in all your schools to set this high bar for our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Quinn.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Hedrick, and
yes.
then. Yes, sir.
When they get an associate or a bachelor's degree, who actually is the issuer of that degree?
Thank you, Commissioner Hedrick. Mr. Bransford.
Madam Chair, if I could field that question. The students will choose typically in their 11th grade year where they would like to have their degree conferred. And so they can work with any college in the state of Idaho to choose to have those. Some of the more popular choices are the College of Western Idaho and the College of Southern Idaho. They tend to be a little more heavily focused on dual credit for high school students. So many students opt to do that, but we've had a lot of students who've done it through North Idaho College. We've had a few students do it through Idaho State University and several other colleges around the state as well. So it's ultimately a student choice, but concentrated on those 2 colleges right now.
Thank you, Mr. Bransford. Did that answer your question, Commissioner Hedrick?
Yes, thank you very much.
Commissioner Amador.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just curious, I know it's not your responsibility once they graduate, but what type of data and ability do you have to track these students? I hate to use the word track, but how do you track these students, just assessing, are they more likely to graduate with a bachelor's degree? How long does it take compared to the, other students, et cetera? So I don't know if you have that ability and do it.
Mr. Bransford.
Thank you for that question. We track students for 6 years after they leave high school to see what they've done. And that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, we recognize that students may not go directly to college after high school. They may serve missions, they may go into the military, they may do other apprenticeships that cause them not to enter college directly. Also, the 6-year cohort graduation rate for colleges is kind of the gold standard on how colleges try to get students to their bachelor's degree. So we track them for 6 years after they leave high school. What we find is that our go-on rate during that 6 years is around 65% across our entire network. Now, some of our schools are so new, they haven't had students out of high school very long. For example, this one hasn't graduated any students, but right now our go-on rate is about 65%. We actually think those numbers will climb the more graduates we have and the larger that sample size comes that we're able to track. Also, there's a warehouse it's a national warehouse that tracks students after high school. It's a good starting place, but it does not capture all of the information accurately that we need. So we have a college access director who actually follows up with all of our graduates for 6 years to check in with them personally. How are they doing? What's going well? And then we also use that feedback to make sure that we're strengthening our K-12 program, because if we see trends when they say, I felt really prepared academically, but I'm not sure that it has strong enough financial plan. Or I felt like I had a really strong financial plan, but I'm not sure that I was really prepared for some of the classes that I would take in my junior and senior year in college, because I'm not sure that you had me take classes that were strong enough for my associate's pathway. So we can refine our program K through 12 to make sure that we are listening to that feedback that our students give us after they're in college full time, and refine our program that way.
Thank you, Mr. Bradford. Commissioner Amador, that answer your question? Thank you for that information. Any follow-up questions or comments, commissioners? Thank you again for always sharing your passion with us. Commissioners, I would entertain a motion if we're ready.
Chairman, I'll move to approve the charter renewal without conditions as presented for Gem Prep Meridian North, thereby approving the school's renewal application and renewing its charter for a 6-year operational term starting July 1st, 2026.
Thank you, Commissioner Amador. We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that, Madam Chair.
We have a second from Commissioner Hedrick. Thank you. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Seeing none, the motion passes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And Director Burke, we'll have you introduce our next school.
Next up, we have Cardinal Academy. In 2021, Cardinal Academy was approved for operations with a 5-year operating contract. The school began operations in fall of 2021. The current certificate term is from July 1st, 2021 to July 30th, 2026. Cardinal Academy is an alternative school serving an at-risk population of students. Attendance fluctuates and some of the data has been redacted. Cardinal Academy's enrollment numbers are there for you, so you can their enrollment trends throughout this past performance certificate term. The school is recommended for renewal with 4 conditions. Condition 1 being Cardinal Academy must achieve a minimum 5% year-over-year increase in the college and career readiness. Condition 2 is Cardinal Academy must achieve a minimum 10% year-over-year increase in math achievement and growth. And condition 3, Cardinal Academy must achieve a minimum 10% year-over-year increase in ELA achievement and growth. Condition 4 being Cardinal Academy must achieve a minimum 4% year-over-year increase in progress toward graduation. See some data laid out for you on the second page there.
And with that, I'd like to welcome you to present to us. Again, just a brief reminder to introduce yourselves and your positions for the record. Thank you.
Okay, well, you guys have got us to follow. Wow. My name is Jamie Garn. I'm the Executive Director of Cardinal Academy. I'm very excited to be here today. It's an honor to have the opportunity to share a little bit about the students that we serve and why our work matters.
One moment. Can you hear her okay, Commissioner Hedrick and Commissioner Quinn? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the next show.
Yes, I think Joy's bringing up the presentation.
There we go. Okay, Cardinal Academy is a public charter school that serves pregnant and parenting students. We partnership with the Salvation Army's Booth program, which has been in the Valley for just over, I think it's 105 years this year. So we work with them to provide education, childcare, and wraparound services so that young parents can graduate high school. Our guiding belief is very simple. Parenting is hard, but finishing high school doesn't have to be. Okay, so our mission centers around removing barriers for students. We hope to graduate students that are persistent and that will thrive in their community. Our values are not abstract ideas. We use our values to drive everything we do in our school. It shapes our daily decisions, our classroom culture, and it also impacts how we deal with students in crisis and how we support them. We find that Cardinal Academy is often the first place where our students actually feel safe, understood, and empowered. Sorry, not good at doing both. So a little bit more about the students that we serve. We serve pregnant parenting teens, but we serve moms and dads. And a lot of times people don't realize that we have dads on our campus as well. Our students are aged 14 to 21. Many of our students are opportunity youth, so they've been previously disengaged from school. So usually when we get a student, they have a very high number of academic challenges and they come with credit deficiencies. Within our school, we have a very high prevalence of economic disadvantage. Many of our students face food and housing insecurities. They have a lot of mental health needs, and most of our students have very limited family or partner support. And on top of that, many of them have a history of trauma. So in order to meet the needs of these students, our work has to be very flexible, responsive, and deeply human. So the teen birth rate in Idaho is 10.5 births per 1,000 female students ages 15 to 19. This statistic doesn't account for pregnancies that end in termination or in miscarriage. It also doesn't account for that under 15 age range. And what we've seen in the last 3 years is an increasing number of students coming in at age 14 that are pregnant. Only 50% of teen mothers in that age range are going to earn a high school diploma by the age of 22. And that's compared to 89% of non-pregnant females. So we know that it's very important for our students to have this opportunity. In 2015 alone, Idaho taxpayers paid more than $39 million to support these young people through Medicaid, foster care, incarceration, and other public services like SNAP benefits and welfare. So we believe that without intervention, the long-term social and economic costs are significant, and those impact not only our students, but our state as a whole. So we hope that what we're doing at Cardinal is going to help sort of break that cycle. What makes Cardinal different from other schools isn't just one thing. It's really a culmination of a strong academic program, wraparound services, and the flexibility that we're able to provide to our students. This is really only possible through our partnership with the Salvation Army's Booth program. So on the Cardinal side of things, we provide the academics. So we provide trauma-informed, individualized academics. We have very small class sizes. Usually our class sizes are between like 6 and 8 students, so very small. And we have a lot of in-class support for our students. In addition to our core content areas, we also provide our capstone class, which I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about later. And probably the biggest most impactful support that we provide for our students on the school side is our transportation. So we provide door-to-door transportation for all of our students and their babies to come to school, to and from school every day. We run 3 buses all throughout the Treasure Valley. So we have students coming from all over as far as Middleton. We have a Canyon County bus, and we have kids in, Meridian and Cuna and Eagle and all of those other places in between. Okay, so in the booth program, that partnership, they provide other on-site services. So we have what's called the incentive store, and this is a secondhand store that is on-site at our school. And when our students come to school, they earn what we call booth bucks. They get that from going to class, participating, doing the things that they're supposed to. And then once a week, they get to go into the incentive store where they're able to buy things like diapers, wipes, formula, baby clothes, cribs, high chairs, all of those types of things. We also have household supplies, we have hygiene items, and other things that appeal to teenagers like clothes and makeup and jewelry and things like that. The incentive store really provides an opportunity for our students to feel like they're contributing to their families. So even though they're going to school and might not be able to work a lot, they can bring home the essentials to provide for their babies. In addition, they cover the cost and act as the liaison for our on-site daycare through New Horizons Academy. So the booth staff works with our students to apply for ICCP, which is the state-funded daycare program. And then they will cover the cost of any costs that occur beyond what ICCP covers. And we have a lot of our not a lot, we have a portion of our students that won't qualify for ICCP. So the booth program will cover 100% of those daycare costs for our kids. The last thing not the last thing, but the last kind of hands-on thing that they provide is they do all of the meals for our school. So they provide 2 meals a day, 2 snacks, and then oftentimes they package up food to send home for our kids in the evening. So in addition to those hands-on items, the booth program also provides a lot of other connections in the community. They provide food boxes for our students, social work services. They help our kids apply for different assistance like Medicaid, ICCP, like I mentioned, SNAP benefits, and other services like that. They arrange for monthly visits from WIC and from our therapy dogs. They arrange for annual clinics, Delta Dental clinics, and also immunization clinics for our students and their babies. They also connect individual students with programs like Parents as Teachers and Nurse Family Partners to add additional support, additional parenting support for our students that need that. They also arrange additional parenting and prenatal courses through Family Advocates, St. Luke's and St. Al's, and also the ISU nurse. So over the last 5 years, we've had a lot of really positive impacts and outcomes for our students. We've had over 210 students and 101 babies pass through our program. 51 students have graduated to date. And on the booth program side, they have contributed over 744 life skills, pregnancy, and parenting courses to our students. They have delivered over 33,700 meals, snacks, and breakfast bags. They provided 73,000 diapers to our babies, and they've covered over $273,000 in childcare scholarships to our students. So measuring success at Cardinal looks different than a lot of traditional schools. While success is getting a diploma, we also consider success as building communities and support systems for our students. When I first came into Cardinal, that was one of the biggest things that we saw that our students needed. They needed a community. And so we've worked really, really hard to help strengthen that community for them. We think it's important to strengthen family bonds. We think it's very important to expose our students to parenting and childcare best practices, and also to work towards self-sufficiency. So on up here, there's a picture, the one on the top was a picture in the delivery room with one of our students. This is a couple years ago. Very young mom. Her mom was incarcerated. She had no family support. When I first met her, she was living in a tent and was pregnant. So throughout her time at Cardinal, she built a community, and in the delivery room, there were 16 of our students, which I haven't helped them. And we actually sent a gift to the nurses after for supporting it, but they were her family. They created that support system for her to go through one of the hardest times of her life. So not really credit. This year, our biggest work in progress has been focusing on strengthening our model to better align to our mission. We want our mission to drive every single thing that we do in our building. So this year we implemented a capstone course. So this is a class that every one of our students will attend every single day, where they're going to get hands-on instruction in pregnancy, parenting, child development, maintaining a household, finances, food and nutrition, and all of those other independent living skills that so many of our kids are not learning at home. In addition to this capstone, we're working on making specific connections between core instruction and life so that our kids see that there's value in coming to school, that what they're learning in the classroom is going to transition out into the world. We're working on more individualized course pacing, flexible scheduling, and an online component that's going to help our students balance work and family obligations in school. Our greatest area of challenge is our attendance, and it probably always will be to some degree. Idaho's attendance-based funding doesn't really account for the unavoidable absences that our population faces. So when we get a pregnant student that comes into our school, we know automatically she's going to be missing 2 to 3 weeks for postpartum recovery, and that's assuming everything goes beautifully. That doesn't account for doctor's visits, pregnancy complications, pregnancy-related illnesses, and that's on top of just the other challenges that students face in general with getting to school. Our young parents deal with the childcare disruption. So if you've ever had a child in daycare, you know that sickness, like illnesses, it's like a little petri dish in there. So when babies can't go to daycare, mom and dad have to miss school. What's really tricky is those students that fall into those categories are our target population. We want pregnant parenting students, and most of those students that come to us are chronically absent just by nature, which automatically impacts our academic success and our funding. But that's who we want. That's who we're looking for. So as mentioned, our report snapshot shows some good things and some not so great things. We had strong operational and financial compliance, but mixed academic results. Some of our areas were, we didn't meet the standard for college and career readiness and our progress towards graduation. Those two things are strongly impacted again by attendance, which you'll see come up time and time again. But also it's not uncommon for us to have a student come in at 18 or 19 years old that has the credits of a freshman. And so we're doing a lot of credit recovery, but that does impact that 4 and 5 year graduation cohort. So in response, we've developed a 3-year strategic plan, and I wanted to just highlight a couple of areas in that strategic plan as they relate to some of our renewal conditions. So the first area, surprise, is enrollment and attendance. First, we want to stabilize our enrollment, and that's going to be through some targeted enrollment strategies and strengthening our referral programs. So getting out into the community and connecting with people that will help us connect to the students that need our services. We want to raise our ADA by 75%, and we plan to do that through some proactive attendance interventions that are specific to the needs of our population. So some flexible scheduling options, allowing students to do some self-paced work, and then also some hybrid online opportunities. We believe that increasing attendance is going to help every area that we struggle in, from our English and math scores to our graduation needs. The second area that we want to work on is we want 80% of our students to earn at least 12 on-track credits per year. We're working on this. We want to refine and strengthen our core instruction. We're looking for better suited curriculum. more personalized student support, and then we're working on weekly math and reading interventions. We also think that with our increased attendance efforts that we'll see that improvement in course completion and working towards graduation. We know that students who miss more than 10% of school are 30% more likely to fail classes. And then our last area is the marketing and communications. We want to be known over the course of the next 3 years. We want to be known as the Treasure Valley's leading school for pregnant and parenting teens. We need to boost our referrals. We're going to do that through storytelling, updated digital presence, and then again, building stronger community partners. We believe that doing this is going to help referral partners, agencies, and families know exactly who it is that we're trying to serve. And they're going to help connect us to those students in a more timely fashion so that we can get those students on track to graduate. In addition, we have other goals in that strategic plan. I'm not going to go over all of those in detail, but we have goals in operations and infrastructure, talent and staffing, and then the financial context and sustainability areas as well. At this point, I just want to express our gratitude for the community partners that we have, our funders, my board, and also to the commission for the ongoing oversight and support that we have felt from you. We very much appreciate that and truly believe that it takes a village to support our students. So thank you again for your time and for your continued commitment to Idaho students.
Questions? Madam Commissioner, so what are your attendance goals over the next 5 years?
So right now, when I first started at Cardinal, our attendance, we were in the 60s. We were about 65% attendance for our students. So we're working towards that. We're right now at about 73%, 72 to 73%. And we want to move that. We would love to be closer to 80% with our students. Realistically, we're looking, if we could hit that 75, 70, 76%, we would feel like that was a big win for our kids.
Thank you.
Mr. Amador.
Chair, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Such critical, really important work, clearly. And excuse my ignorance for not being from this region, but how does your school operate and look different, for pregnant and or, new parents than, the traditional public schools in this region? Help me understand kind of what you offer that's different than what they, I assume there's some option for those students if they're in traditional public schools.
Yeah.
How that was different for you?
For us, the things that we provide, just all the wraparound services. So we have the on-site daycare that's in our building. So that the parents can they go down and get their babies for lunch. We have them in the classroom when we do our parenting classes, so that we're working with students to help have time with their students and bond with their babies and bond with their babies. So a lot of it is having that childcare portion paid for. The door-to-door transportation, our parents, it's a huge barrier to have them walk to a bus stop to get, to get on a bus to come to school. Many of them don't have transportation. So it's the biggest service that we provide is that transportation and then providing for their childcare while they're in school. And then just all the additional wraparound services that we provide. We have like the WIC clinics that come on site. We help connect our kids with therapy for those who need therapy. We have different programs come in. A lot of times we'll have students that have their children are in foster care. So we're able to provide a space for them to do visits with their children and get parenting support on site.
Follow.
Please.
Thank you. Thanks for the response. And it may not, be encompassed in the discussion we could have today, but obviously when we develop the alternative framework for accountability, there are so many very, very unique circumstances and populations that we serve that we probably can't capture every single, unique opportunity. And so, I think we're understanding of, struggles and difficulties with unique populations. What I would encourage you is to help us understand how we can support you and work in the long run, because without success in this area, right, I don't think we're doing our bit. So in the future, how can we help you? We can work on a two-way street here.
Sure, Amador.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Hedrick.
Thank you. I want to commend you for the work you're doing. Obviously, these are special young people who need an opportunity to get their education and advance themselves in life. And it's programs like these that I think are critical to everything that we do in the charter school business. So, thank you all very much for your efforts and dedication.
Thank you, Commissioner Hedrick.
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Quinn.
Yeah, I believe I may have been the only one present today that was on the commission when we first approved the Cardinal Academy. And I believe it was done to because a program had been in existence maybe between the Boise School District and another entity, and they were moving out of that arena, and so the group came with the intention of trying to preserve that. And I've seen over the years you're evolving to the position that you are today. And I really appreciate the effort and the work. And I think it's a really good example of charter schools that we've seen today, of the different needs that these charter schools, and particularly you with the work that you're doing, are serving these students. And I think Commissioner Amador has indicated too that all our metrics may not be best for all the varying needs we have. And I agree with him. We need to be able to help you in that alternative arena in terms of measurement. But I really appreciate the efforts that you've done, and I'm impressed with the recommendations today and the plans you have now to serve this really needed population. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Quinn. I'd like to just mention also your commitment to your mission. You know, that's something that's really critical. We see as commissioners, as schools come before us, how critical it is to embrace and stick with the mission. So thank you very much. Any further questions or comments, commissioners? I would entertain a motion.
I would move to approve the renewal of the charter for Cardinal Academy, renewing the school's charter for a 6-year term beginning July 1st, 2026, with the 4 conditions recommended by the staff.
We have a motion. Is there a second or any further discussion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for the challenging work that you do for such an important population. Thank you. See, I lost my agenda here and all of my papers. Is there any public comment? Let's see, where's Joy? There's Joy. We're gonna check for public comment. If we have any public comment online. No public comment, so we'll move. Let's see. We can move to adjourn.
Yeah, I think you have to make a motion.
Okay. Thank you very much, staff, for all of your work today and all of the technical behind the scenes, and all of you for coming in and the great work that you do for students. This is energizing and exciting for all of us to hear this each time that any of you come before us. So thank you, and we will adjourn.